So, Mark, did you see the Golden Girls live over at Westgate? They're going to be in town this Saturday. Shows at 2 and 7. They're all over the property. Vegas needed this.
Should we put girls in parentheses?
A Vegas tradition, Mark.
Yeah, that's true. No, my wife's a huge fan of Golden Girls. She's watched every episode probably 4 or 5 times. So I think she would really enjoy this. And if they put on a good show, I think it will be something people love. I mean, it's such an iconic show, and hopefully they do it justice.
I hope so, Mark. The resemblance is uncanny.
Totally. I mean, besides the stubble.
So a lot happening in Las Vegas right now. Earlier in the week, we talked the ballpark construction. I did the whole vlog, but the guitar tower, mostly built out now. The glass is all on it. It's been topped off. It looks more like the finished product, but there's still a lot going on with the conversion from Mirage into Hard Rock. And Chris Holmes got the drone up in the air. We got some really good looks at the atrium area, that rounded area that they've now enclosed. I'm expecting some sort of a show in there. That's going to be sort of the connector between the old and the new. We also got a really good look at the new theater, which is in the same spot as the old theater, but it looks a lot bigger, completely rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah, it looks, similar to the Sphere, just without like the top or any cool stuff around it.
Dare we say it's a cylinder? But seriously, in Florida, in Hollywood, they have this round area that has this waterfall and it does a light show and stuff like that. We are told that there's going to obviously be the light show on the outside, some sort of a nighttime thing, but perhaps on the inside too. And this could be a perfect spot for that. It was one of the more beautiful areas in all of Las Vegas. So what replaces it really needs to measure up.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it will be something really cool. I think the spectacle, I mean, we've seen what they've done in Hollywood, Florida with the light show and everything. So I think that will be perfect. I don't think anybody will complain about that. I think it'll be something to be seen in Vegas. The one thing, question I have for you is looking at the pool area, moving on to that. It seems like all these newer builds in Vegas are kind of skimping on the pool. And I realize that this is just for the guitar tower, but doesn't that seem a bit like a tight, smaller space? And what's going on with Vegas, where we used to have these lush, grand, huge pool areas, and now it just seems like everything's kind of compact, and some of them are day clubs and all that. Just super tight, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't have a great feel for how the final pool area for the entire property will look like. That is being rebuilt basically in the area where the old one was. Seems like it is less pool, more bathtubs, right? Those smaller shaped pools, more deck space. But they are known for their really good pools. So I don't know. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here. Mirage's pool, though, was one of the best in Vegas as well. It was very tropical and just a great place to spend an afternoon.
Yeah, and they've done such a great job in Florida that I'm hopeful that we get something along those lines. It just seems maybe this is going to be more day clubbish, the oversight that we're seeing here versus the actual pool area. But that, I mean, the guitar tower is a bigger tower. Just seems like a smaller end pool for that.
Still a lot to discover, including the tram. I've been trying to figure out how that Treasure Island Mirage tram, if it's going to be integrated. Treasure Island sort of walled off the area where the station was, but the tracks are still there. It ran to the porte-cochere of Mirage, which I'm not quite sure how that's going to integrate, but you have to hope that these properties will be linked when it opens. And if anybody has more information on the final plans for that, let us know.
If I know anything, if that reopens, you'll be rope dropping that thing.
I love trams, as was evidenced on my Monday vlog. You can't pass on any opportunity to ride a tram. Hey, it's hot, and when they have air conditioning, it makes it even better.
That is true. And sometimes when you do the walkways, they're not the best air conditioning, so it gets a little hot. The trams are usually a bit better. So I hop on them whenever I can.
So let's move over to Area 15. A few shows ago, we talked about everything new there, and we talked about how expensive it gets to pay for everything a la carte. And people let us know that there are experience passes. So I thought it would be good to pass on that information. And it's very confusing. There's 5 different passes. Access level 1, 2, 3, 3, alternate, and 4. And it seems like you can't get Horror Unleashed and Omega Mart on the same pass. But other than that, you can get passes that include basically everything else, different levels of experiences, starting at $49 up to $225. And just like everything else at Area 15, it depends on the time and everything else. But if you really want to go all out, you can buy one of these big passes, go there for several days, and experience just about everything.
Yeah, I wish they had one that just did all the things. And I think the all-inclusive 3-day pass, is that just like the lower end activities that are included, like all of that as many times as you want, but these bigger, Horror Unleashed, things like that, you still have to buy separately?
Yeah, the access level 3 has either or, and then access level 4 doesn't give you Horror Unleashed, as far as I could tell. But yeah, pretty much all of the in-house experiences that are owned by Area 15, and then most of the partner experiences. And reality is you're probably not going to get through everything. So maybe one of these lower tier passes where you can go through a lot of these smaller experiences, the axe throwing, all that type of stuff. Some of the escape rooms, the rides like Eyedropper we talked about, like Liftoff. So there is a lot of value there if you have the time to spend and you want to get the most out of this pass.
Yeah, that's what's cool about the 3-day one is that you could probably see everything that's included if you go back there multiple days.
So more like an amusement park or that type of experience, and good for them to figure out a way to get this done.
Yeah, and just double check. A lot of times when you see these passes, you assume that they're the best deal. Maybe buying things separately is still cheaper depending on how many things you actually want to see and what you want to get done. So price it out both ways before you purchase.
In a second, we're going to take the sexiest look at the Dunes Golf Course. But before we do that, I would love to invite you to subscribe. Thousands of you are watching the show aren't subscribed. Just hit that button for us. Helps us out a lot. Thanks in advance. But Mark, on the last show, we talked about Monte Carlo's 30th birthday and how the land Monte Carlo sits on was largely the Dunes Golf Course. And it kind of gave me a reminder of just how much of that area of the strip is the Dunes Golf Course. And I found this incredible video from the UNLV archives of a helicopter flyover. It says in the 80s, it doesn't have an exact year, of the Dunes Golf Course. So you can see the expansiveness of the lot, that most of Bellagio, City Center, and indeed Monte Carlo sits on that land. There's also some good views of downtown as well. A great little look in time.
Yeah, it'd be insane to drive down the strip right now and just see golf course for all that expansive area and just kind of wide open. It looks beautiful. It looks like it was a really nice golf course, green, lush, all those things. If it had stayed around, do you think Lake Mead would just be like a sandbox right now instead?
We still got plenty of golf courses around, but that's a reminder that you have obviously Wynn, which is the Desert Inn golf course, and then you had this Dunes golf course, and then there was also the Tropicana golf course, which is on a lot of the land where MGM Grand sits, especially the backside of MGM Grand, the pool area and all of that. And these were three huge courses, basically right on the Las Vegas Strip. And we talk about maximizing square footage and all of that. It does seem like a kind of a waste of space, right? Especially the Dunes with all that land and all of the resorts they were able to fill in when they tore it down.
Yeah, better use of space right now for sure. And there are golf courses when you get outside of the strip area, plenty of them. So they could have moved them around. It's just sad to see when you do have a beautiful golf course. If people love playing there, I'm sure they were sad to see it go. But what's replaced it has been breathtaking as well.
And there is still one golf course right on the strip, Bally High, or it's just south of the strip near the Las Vegas sign. That's been there forever. And then, of course, Wynn is sort of on the strip. So golf living on in Las Vegas. Have you seen aerials like this? I just thought this video was so cool and wanted to share it. Some great looks in time of Las Vegas. I wonder, were they doing promotional video? Why were they just flying over this golf course?
I don't know. They're kind of low too. Like if you're golfing, you're like, what the heck's going on here?
So this next one comes from ATX Vegas fan. I saw this reply that he had about people talking about, do they actually go to check out? The tweet was, I'm actually shocked at the people that still go to the front desk to check out each time. Now, both of us are hotel people. So I guess we could start by talking about this. Then we'll talk about Sean Wilson's advice when it relates to Vegas. But do you still go to the checkout physically at a hotel?
It kind of depends. If there isn't a huge line, I'll probably go to and check out because I want to see that bill. There's so many times that there's errors on it, especially if you're staying at a Hilton. Like, let's say you're staying at Resorts World, they mess up those credits that you get if you have Hilton Gold or Diamond status all the time. So I want to be there. I want them to fix it in person. It's so much easier versus reaching out later. So in those cases, I do. But if it's a room that I didn't really bill anything back, or if it's comped, or if I paid with points, then I'm definitely just walking out, not stopping by. Probably don't even drop the keys in the little quick drop box. If there is a charge, like if I know it's just a regular rate, then I'll probably still not go down there. So it just depends what my bill is going to look like and if I perceive that there might be some issues.
Yeah, I'm about the same. And now with digital bills and stuff like that, I do check my bill. And if there's anything wrong, then I do go try to resolve it at the property. It's much harder to get something fixed later. And so that's what the answer is. If I have the bill in hand, or I can see it on an app or something and it's $0 or it's what I expect, then I just leave. Sean says that he heads over to the VIP desk to see if they can take a look at his play during that trip and see if they can take off any money off of his bill or give him a credit in some other way. Now, if you had a host, you would probably just text the host. But for people who don't, and especially if you had a trip, maybe you gambled more than you thought, this is a great piece of advice. You might as well see what they can do before you leave.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think if they don't have a host, then it's not worth it. And I used to do this when I gambled more. I would go in there and stop and see. And sometimes they would take off less than I thought they should, sometimes more. It just kind of depends. If you have a host and you build that relationship, usually you end up getting a little bit better. But it's worth stopping into that area and just seeing if people can look at your play on your account and seeing what they can do. I did that once at Hooters back in the day, and they wiped everything I had, room charges, the cost of the stay, drinks, food, all the stuff. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'd take care of it all." I mean, it was only like $500, but it was still kind of funny.
All that for playing $5 blackjack. Who knew? But yeah, it's great. I mean, I would love to hear stories for people out there. Do you do it? What's your level of play? Has been your experience with it? Share with others about doing this. I always think it's a little intimidating because what if you get rejected? They say, you didn't gamble enough, then you feel not worthy of being there.
I've had that happen. It was at Golden Nugget, and they're like, "Oh, did your friend gamble much that was staying with you?" I'm like, "Well, not really, but here's this guy." He's like, "Yeah, there's nothing I can do for you."
So another story, kind of a follow-up on something we've been following for years now, Wynn Al Marjan in the Emirates. This is the first fully integrated licensed casino in the Emirates, and it's expected to open in spring of 2027. A couple of months ago, they did the topping off ceremony of the tower, and over the course of the last year, they've released a ton of new renders of what it's going to look like. Oh my God, this place looks incredible. I just saw on Resort X some new updated pictures from the last week or so of the way the tower looks and how it's all starting to come along. The tower looks basically done, a lot of work still on the ground. But man, I feel so poor looking at this place. And also, there's nowhere I want to go more.
I'm glad on the one part of the tower, like next to the tower, they kind of had like the step down so they didn't look equal. Otherwise, it would have looked like that Vegas house from the air.
Yeah, it still does. I mean, this is a very masculine building, I would say. We've been looking at the renders, but when you see it fully erect there, it is quite a striking building. But I love the renders. I love the
That's what
renders.
she said.
There's so many beautiful spaces though. If you look at the mall, I want to be serious about this because I'm, 1,500 rooms there, 22 restaurants. I've been to all of the Wynn properties in Macau, which I think are probably a step up above what we have in Vegas. And this looks like it might be beyond that. And yeah, that lobby space is incredible. The rooms look very good. And, in that unique sort of Wynn way where they're not following all the design trends of everybody else. And we're getting close. Spring 2027 is when it's slated to open.
Yeah, I think anytime you have a casino hotel and you have your own little marina for yachts to come in, I mean that's baller right there. I don't know anywhere else that can really compete with that level of over the topness. So that's really cool to see. I think the beach area and the pool area looks amazing in the renderings. If they pull it off to look anything like that, I think it will be a stunning place to just kind of like lounge and hang out during the day. And like you said, the rooms look beautiful. Maybe a little bit too much beige for my taste, but I love how they brought in like the trees and behind the bed, like that wallpaper or whatever, the stenciling that they have. It looks really gorgeous. So a small complaint is just maybe a little bit more pops of color, but that's kind of the Wynn way. So I'm not too surprised by it.
So this will be the resort of resorts opening next year, and we'll keep an eye on that. But Wynn exporting that luxurious style across the world. And I think that's great for Las Vegas because Wynn is synonymous with Las Vegas, and this brand is, and this is saying, hey, Vegas style resort, Vegas style luxury coming to a billionaire's playground near you.
What do you think the nightly rate's going to be if you had to guess?
I mean, I don't know, 1,500 rooms, Mark, so it could depend, but let's go $800 a night.
Okay. I can see it. It might be worth it to splurge just to see the property. I could see people doing it at that rate.
Want to see us a little bit more unhinged, having more fun, talking about things we can't talk about here? Join us over on Patreon, patreon.com/MTM Vegas. We do the after show, bonus content, money saving guide, all that good stuff. Check it out if you love the channel, and thanks in advance. But Mark, let's talk Evil Knievel, and not the terrible evil pie, but the Evil Knievel Museum. It is opening June 27th. I'll never miss a shot. I got to go try it again now. I feel terrible that I've talked bad, but 3 straight times not enjoying their pizza. All that to say, June 27th, we talked about it, the Evil Knievel Museum is opening, and the city of Las Vegas just had a preview of what it looks like inside. And it does look like the Evil Knievel Museum. It looks kind of like what I expected it to.
Yeah, I think it looks like they pulled it off, and it's a smaller space, but they got stuff in there and they did a good job with it. I don't think that there's anything really missing. I just don't know that you could fill out a whole museum with one person. I mean, if you love stunt people and Evil Knievel, then you're going to go check it out. But do you think it's going to draw in like the regular person?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think you nailed it on the head. It looks like a well done museum. And it really is just, are you going to be into this whole spectacle of Evil Knievel and the Daredevils and all of that? I mean, I think Vegas is a good spot for it in the arts district. I don't know how much it's going to do. We have a decent amount of these sort of second tier museums, but the Evil Knievel name sort of big here, and maybe they'll sell combo tickets, a slice and a ticket, even though they're not anywhere near each other, Evil Pie. But maybe that's how they'll move tickets.
It would be pretty cool if they could have combined the two somehow. I know they couldn't have built this on Fremont East, but if they could have pulled it off, like that would draw people in, get a beer, a slice, and then kind of mosey on over. So you'd have that foot traffic built in, as well as people that love Evil Pie would be like, oh, let's go check out the museum too. So it's a shame that they couldn't pull that off somehow, or maybe have a second Evil Pie area pop up next door or something along those lines. But if they would have done this attached to some type of bar, restaurant type of thing, I think it would have a better shot. But hopefully it does well.
Yeah, there is a lot of the arts district in that area, but my question to you, do people really love Evil Pie? That's of course, everybody's going to let me know in the comments how much they love Evil Pie. I know they do.
It's a cool bar. Like, I've always had a good time in there. Beer and a slice, even if you hate the slice like Sean, it's still a pretty solid deal. I don't know what changed. I used to love the pizza. The last couple times, like Sean said, wasn't the best, but I'll still eat it. Like, it's not inedible or anything like that. It's not the worst pizza I've had. Just that atmosphere in there, that back patio area. I like hanging out there even if I'm not eating pizza.
Yeah, it's a great place. Very friendly staff. Love the back patio. I've had many good times inside of Evil Pie, and the Evil Knievel experience coming in a few days. But here now is the Bellagio summer display mark called Paradise Nature's Most Beautiful Creations. And this is actually a very cool summer display with lots of jungle animals and 20,000 plus plants, 8,500 assorted goose feathers adorning the tigers in the north bed. You know, I love how they send us all these stats. 2,500 preserved pampas grass plumes. So there you go. It's great though. I haven't got to see it in person yet, but I like the very summer jungly feel.
Yeah, it looks like it came straight out of the Jungle Book or something like that. Like you're walking around, feels immersive, like you're in the jungle or on a safari or something like that. I think they did a great job. I'm kind of surprised with it being the 250th anniversary for the US, they wouldn't have leaned into that a bit. Are you kind of surprised by that?
Well, the city's doing a lot for that, and we'll talk about that next week on all the fireworks, because this is the summer of fireworks, but also 4th of July is going to be unlike anything else here in Vegas, and I'm sure in a lot of other places as well. It does seem like a missed opportunity, but maybe they just weren't thinking about it. I think the biggest miss here is they only have 3 bird species represented throughout the display, and I would have never known that if they didn't put that in writing.
They have elephants. That's good enough.
Yes, and 21 different types of animals, just for the record. I don't know. I love when they send us those stupid stats, but all of that just to cover up the fact that this is really cool, still going strong. 100 employees worked around the clock for 6 days to bring this display to life. Another stat for you. We're really lucky to have this in our backyard, and I don't think a lot of locals appreciate it for how good it is.
I'd really be interested, like, how much are they spending on this? And I know it draws a ton of people in the door, so I'm guessing that they make the money back, but the cost of it just has to be astronomical. So it'd be curious, like, come on, MGM, put that info in there with the bird species and all that stuff.
So you want another stat, Mark?
Okay.
900 pounds of brown and golden flax seeds were used to create the giraffe's coats. So there you go. Interesting stuff.
Right.
Go check out the Bellagio. In the meantime, let us know what else you guys think about whatever we discussed today. The Evil Knievel Museum, the Golden Girls Live. Are you going to go see the new Golden Girls coming to the Westgate? Let us know down in the comments. We do 2 to 3 shows a week. Next week, we'll be back with a few shows for you. Thanks so much for watching. Check out the Patreon. Talk to you next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching. Instead of being called, like, we have the Sphere in Vegas, should this be the Cylinder Theater? Should this be the Cylinder? Well, that's all it should be. That's a bad joke, isn't it?
Yes, I was going to say. The Cylinder. Right to the outtakes.